All right, guys, today we're going to give you some tips on selling your home and getting it prepared.
You better get fired up.
Happy Monday, Lissette. How you doing?
Happy Monday. I'm doing great. How are you, Joe?
I'm amazing, man. Every Monday, I'm doing great. It's my favorite day of the week.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah,
exciting. When you do what you love, it's exciting start to the week.
exactly. So we have talked about preparing a listing for sale. There's a lot that goes into it, both from the real estate standpoint, the title company, the seller themselves, photography, all kinds of great things that you're getting involved. I want to make sure that if you're listening to Joe Rosen, you are absolutely prepared as possible so you can get top dollar. That's the goal. Get top dollar, sell it fast. And I want to help you do it today. So we're going to go down a list of different things that you can do. Most of these are either free or they're relatively cheap. And I would say all of this, if you had a problem with all of this, you could get this done in a weekend or two, right? It's pretty simple stuff that you absolutely should be doing. And I'll go a little bit further and I'll say a lot of people don't do this stuff. I can tell you from experience, Lissette, you'll probably agree with me. The people who don't do a lot of this stuff, it's not that they can't, it's that they're lazy. And it's okay to be lazy, right? It sucks doing all this stuff. But you've got to realize if you do it, you're going to make $5, $10, $15, $20,000 depending upon where you're currently at and where you would be if you did some of this stuff. You're going to make that more on getting this stuff done. So it's absolutely worth it. Guys, as we're going through this, if you got questions, comments, whatever it is, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to put them in the comments and we will respond to you before the end of this video. So I'm going to start with curb appeal. I wrote out a list of some things that I thought about when it came to curb appeal. Lissette, if you've got anything, I'll ask you here at the end. Sprucing up your landscaping, right? You've got beautiful bushes, flowers, whatever it is. If it's ugly, which right now I would say my landscaping is probably a 5 out of 10, right? Get some of that ugly stuff out. Put some beautiful, fresh, bright stuff in. Make sure it's all trimmed up. It looks sharp. When people walk up, if they say, wow, before they even get in the front door, you're already in the driver's seat. You're already putting in their heads that this home is worth more than other homes, and you take really good care of it. And they don't even know that that's true yet. All they know is based on the outside, they're getting that wow feeling. And that's exactly what you want to give them, right? Next, power wash. See a lot of beautiful homes, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes, and they've got an ugly, disgusting, dirty driveway, an ugly, disgusting, dirty roof, right? Whatever it is. So absolutely, I would say 80, 90% of driveways would benefit from a good power wash. Most roofs would benefit from a power wash. If you've got a fence, whether it's a wood fence or one of those white vinyl fences, just power wash it, man. It's going to make it look so much better. Weed, mow, and trim. I put that all together. That's pretty, that makes sense. Wash your windows. You're going to see through the windows, especially when you're in the house and you're looking out and you got that light coming in. And if you see, like I'll tell you right now, my slider going out to my pool, it looks like this because I've got 2 kids, right? So they're crazy. That's fine because I live here. But if I'm going to sell that home, that's got to be cleaned up before, right? And then remove personal property. I can't tell you how many times you'll see a beautiful $500,000, $1 million listing, and in the photos, it's got cars in there. It's got pickups in there. It's got garbage cans sitting out. Or this is honestly the worst. When you go to put your home on the market, you clean it. You get rid of all this trash and garbage, whatever. You're cleaning everything out. You're decluttering. And you'll show up on day 1, day 2 for a showing. And Lissette, how often do you see a heap of garbage at the end of the driveway because they're waiting for that garbage truck, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get rid of it. Get that stuff done and then put it on the market. The last thing you want to do is have a buyer show up and see that heap of garbage. Lissette, is there anything else you'd add to the outside?
No, that was really all good points, Joe. I mean, specifically touching on maybe the power washing and doing any additional touch-up painting on the exterior. The first look that you're going to have buyers is when they come in through that door and they see your exterior. And you want that to be inviting and you want that to be warm and welcoming. And if your home needs to be touched up and painted, maybe you don't have to paint the entire exterior, but a little bit of touch-up goes a long way. Freshen up that mailbox too. You know, some people fall in love with mailboxes and that's the first thing they see when they pull up to a property. So little details go a long way when it comes to the exterior.
It's funny you said that. Caitlin just got on here and said exactly that. Fix your broken mailbox. So yeah, fix your broken mailbox. But even if you got a nice mailbox, let's spruce it up, make it look good, right? Yeah. Marlene makes a great point. add some flowers, right? The more
Mhm.
color, the more wow that you add, the more it's going to make them feel like it's a good home before they've even taken a step in. So, Lizette, now let's get inside the home and start talking about some of those simple things we can do inside. I'm going to go through my list here. Number one, remove personal photos, right? You don't have to remove them all, and it's not going to lose a sale or anything like that. But some people, when you walk in, it's a family photo. It's a photo of them in the Bahamas. It's a photo of them graduating. It's a photo of when I went to whatever school I went to, right? It's just photo after photo after photo. And that's awesome if you live there, man. But when I have a buyer walk into my house and I'm trying to get top dollar for it, I want that buyer to think, to believe, to picture themselves in the home with their family, not thinking about Joe's family, right? Again, it's Joe's house right now, but I'm trying to sell it to that buyer. So get them to mentally attach themselves to that house by getting rid of your stuff. Declutter. That's a simple one. Literally everybody on the planet's going to say it. What does it mean? It means you've got 3,000 fridge magnets, get rid of them. I got a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. They're painting me pictures every single day. Right back there, right? Get rid of them. Nobody cares about your photos unless it's mom or dad, right? So get rid of them. On any countertop, any flat surface, I try to leave 1 or 2 things. That's it. Whether it's a bathroom countertop, whether it's a kitchen countertop, whether it's a table, 1 or 2 things tops, get rid of a lot of that stuff, right? Furniture, big furniture especially, right? If you've got huge tables in front of your couch, if you've got a monster L-shaped or even worse, U-shaped couch, dude, get it out of there and get a nice little 3-seater or a 2-seater in there. It's going to make that room feel 3 times as big.
Definitely.
When you walk into a bedroom or whatever room, but it's usually bedrooms, the wall that you open the door to, that wall should be cleared. If that wall has a giant, it's always a dresser, man, or a bed up against it, you feel constricted as a buyer in that room and it feels smaller than it is. So if you can keep the wall where you open the door open, that's going to make that room instantly feel a lot bigger. Professionally clean it. Now, if you're amazing at cleaning, just clean it yourself. But if you're not, or you're busy or whatever, get somebody in there to professionally clean it. I can tell you it's $200 to $400. You can get a 3 to 5 hour cleaning job done, and it's going to look so much different. You're going to make so much more money. Last thing I've got here is clean out your appliances, your fridge. I can't tell you how many people will look in the fridge. House is beautiful. House is stunning. It's well priced. Fridge is disgusting. What does it do? It puts an ugly taste in their mouth, and now it detracts from value. Is that fair? Nope. Makes no sense. But it's what happens. Same with your oven. Same with your microwave. Lizette, what do you have to add to that?
I like to tell my sellers, and I always tell them, I'm not saying this and please don't take it personal, but try to make it seem like you're not even living in the property. Less is more. The less you have in the home, the more the buyer can envision themselves living in the property. And just think about when you're looking at a property or when you go to a new construction home and you love it and you feel that wow factor, but it's because all the personalization of the property is taken out. And it's just the appeal. And that's what we're looking for. So just freshening it up, definitely cleaning. You don't want to have, dirty doors, dirty windows, take off all those fingerprints from the fridge. I know I have it because of kids, but it's just one of those things when you have someone coming through a door, make it feel fresh. Now, one item that's debatable a lot of times is to put plugins or not. I have a lot of people who give me positive feedback and they're like, oh my God, the house smells so good and so nice. And then you have other people that walk in and we had a nice oil essentials going on and they were like, oh, that is horrible. What are they hiding? So go with something a little bit soft and subtle, maybe just one candle, maybe only a couple plugins, not all over throughout the house so it's not overpowering and the buyer doesn't think you're trying to hide something. But overall feeling warm again, inviting, and less is more.
I like that. All great points. Now let's get into repairs. Some things you've got to do, they're going to be expensive. If you got an AC that doesn't work, if you got a roof that's leaking, whatever it is, hey, it's going to be thousands of dollars and it's absolutely going to be made up for in price. If you've got a leaky roof and it costs you $3,000, I will guarantee you that if you don't fix it, you're going to lose a heck of a lot more than $3,000. If you got a $6,000 AC replacement that you're not addressing, I can guarantee by not addressing it, it's going to cost you more than $6,000 in price. So yes, those big things you've got to focus on, but what are some of the little things that probably 70-80% of my sellers can, and in my opinion, if you're looking for ROI, should do before they sell? Number one, flooring. if you've got, we all have the tile, right? It's really common here in Port St. Lucie. You got the 16-inch, 18-inch, 20-inch tile. And especially if your home was built kind of in that 2003 to 2007 area, I can tell you every single house I show has a hairline crack in one of the tiles, right? You can go to Home Depot and get, I don't even know what it's called, but it's a substance. You can literally rub it on, and literally in 2-3 hours, unless you own the house, you can't even tell the crack is there. Looks phenomenal, right? Carpet. If you've got carpet stains, you've got to try to get those stains out. People are absolutely going to take more off the price than it would cost to clean or replace those carpets. So do it yourself and you'll make money on that. If your carpet is pulling away from the edges, it's beat up, it's too stained to be replaced, or too stained to keep, I would absolutely replace it because it's going to make sense, right? A room might cost $1,500 to $3,000 depending on what you're putting in there for flooring, but it's absolutely going to give you your money back. So I would say take care of that as well. Paint, just like Lissette said with the exterior, the interior can often be helped with paint, especially if you've got pets, especially if you've got, I call them pets, but you probably call them kids. You're going to want to get rid of all those little black smudges on the walls, all those, little marks that they put on there with a simple coat of fresh paint. And my gosh, DJ just did it this weekend. My wife just painted that wall where my slider is, and then the other one along the left side. She must have said 4 or 5 times, "Oh, Joe, I love this house." And you know what that paint cost her? $42. For $42, that woman felt like she was in a castle, man. It was amazing. So get that paint up. Ceiling stains. Probably 1 out of every 10, 15, 20 houses has some little stain. And I'll tell you, 95% of the time, it was from a leak that happened 15 years ago. It's been repaired. We've had a new roof since. There's no issues. But what does a buyer say when they walk in? They say, "Joe, roof leak. That's $20,000. They're asking $500. Let's give them $480." Like, that's how it works. So absolutely paint that, right? And if you're repairing this stuff, I can't tell you how many times you'll have a roof leak. It'll come through the ceiling and you'll see horrible patching in just that small area painted, right? And maybe it's a matte paint is the whole ceiling. And in that area that's about the size of a second base, you've got gloss paint. Well, that looks completely goofy. It draws attention. And now people think, what are they hiding? So make sure it all looks similar, right? Staining under your sinks. This is another one. It's really common for you to have stains, condensation, whatever it is coming from that sink. And then it sits on, it's usually a piece of wood on the bottom there, whether it's under your kitchen sink, bathroom sink. And now you've got that brown staining. What do people think? Especially when the inspector comes in and says, possible leaking, right? It could be 15 years old. You fixed it a long time ago. It's not a problem. But if the staining is there, people are going to have issues with it. And they're going to want you to spend big dough to prove to them it's not an issue or replace it. You might as well spend the $50 on a new piece of wood, cutting it out and putting it in there. And now you don't have to worry about all that, right? Assuming you don't have leaks. If you have leaks, fix your doggone leaks. Stuck sliders is the last one that I see commonly. How often, dude, I'm a large man. I'm 6'1", 260. I was in the Army. I'm a tough dude. I'll go outside, like, guys, let's go check out this pool.
Yeah.
Oh, I can barely get out. And it sounds like I'm pulling a train with stuck wheels over the tracks. It does not look good, right?
No.
People will say, holy crap, sliders are $3,000 to $5,000. I'm going to have to get a new one. No, you don't. It's probably going to cost you $80 to have a guy come out and put, whatever. But it's the perception that matters. So get that guy to come out and put $80 of work into it so that it slides smoothly before a buyer comes in. Lissette, what else you got to add to that?
Always look up at your fixtures. If you have old, outdated fixtures, or maybe they don't match, change them out. You don't have to go the expensive route. You could go get the most affordable ones at Home Depot, Lowe's. But it also is going to make your property look nice and fresh and updated with that little touch, making sure all those fixtures have lights that work. We don't want to have to go into rooms where we can't turn on the light. And again, just going around the house and seeing if you have any holes on the walls that need to be covered up, any touch of painting, all
Yep.
those little things that don't cost a lot and don't take a lot of time makes a world of difference when you have a buyer walking into the property and touring it, and they start thinking, well, this person actually took care of the property instead of they're letting things fall through the cracks.
Yep. I like what you said there. And I kind of mentioned it with landscaping. Guys, I want to get through your heads. If you've got rooms that are cluttered, if you've got, deferred maintenance, whatever it is, you might not think it's a big deal. And it might literally cost $100, $200 to fix these things. But people look at it and they think, what's being deferred that I'm not seeing? What's going on up in the attic that I'm not seeing? What's going on, that I'm not seeing because I'm not an experienced buyer. I only buy every 5-10 years, right? And you start to plant seeds in their mind. So that's a great point. Clean your pool. I can't tell you how many times I go, beautiful home. They're there because of the pool, and the pool's brown, green, whatever. It ain't blue, right? I should be able to clearly see the bottom of the pool. Now, if you've got some little stains or whatever, it is what it is, unless you're going to pay for resurfacing, which is thousands of dollars, right? So be careful. Think about what you're doing before you do it. But unless you're going to go that route, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about chemicals in a pool for a week or two that if you do it yourself, it's going to cost $30, $40, $50. If you pay a professional, it might cost you $100 to $300 tops. And your pool is the main attraction of the house. Let it be, right? Let it really shine and be the centerpiece of that home. Also, we're talking about preparation. You should know your value, and not just the value, but you should know the market. When I come in, I'm going to tell you, this is what the market's telling me it's worth. And I want you not just to hear me spit out a number, but I want you to see the comps I'm looking at. I want you to feel confident and educated in this value, not just me. I want you to see what the expectation is on the time it's going to take to sell, not by me spitting it out, but by like us together looking up the data, right? I want you to feel it, and I want you to feel confident. This is a big decision. It's a 6-7 figure decision for most people. Let's make sure you're confident. To do that takes 20, 30 minutes. It's not a huge task. You're paying realtors a lot of money. Make sure you get your value out of it. Absolutely. Last thing I'm going to throw out is add some love. Okay. How do we add some love? All these things are very cheap. Some of them are even free. Number one, fresh flowers. You can get fresh flowers for your kitchen countertop. You can get fresh flowers for your dining room table. You can get fresh flowers for whatever the main table in your living room is. You can put it on the dresser tops in your bedrooms. Those flowers, dude, you can go get flowers for 10, 20 bucks. Get a couple vases. My gosh, you could do the whole house for $75. It's going to look amazing. And it's going to look like, here's the thing, guys. This is what you're trying to sell. They know you just bought the flowers. They know the flowers don't come with the home. But you're telling them, this is how we always take care of our home. We go above and beyond. We do the extras to make sure it's good. They get that feeling. Here's another one, fresh cookies. Of course, people love cookies, but even if they don't eat them, you've got that smell that makes you feel like you're at home. It makes you feel like mom's here, grandma's here, whatever, but you get that warm, cuddly, cozy feeling, and now you're comfortable in your environment, and it's a lot easier for you to say yes to the home, right? A letter to the buyer. I like to do this. I've seen a couple other people do it, but just a short, like 1-paragraph letter from the sellers to the buyers saying, please enjoy our home. I hope you love it. We really loved, and then pick out 1 or 2 things. I hope you love it. If we can help with anything, let us know. Instantly, you look helpful. You look like you're not trying to make a dollar and squeeze every penny out of that person, but instead you're taking this home, not a house that you love, that your family was in, and you're passing it off to the next person gently, softly, cautiously, because you love it so much, but you want them to feel good in it, right? You're creating that feeling, and that feeling is important. Get a flyer out. These are super easy to make, and you can talk about the biggest points of your home. And talking about points of your home, get a feature sheet. Talk about all those things that they might not see, might not understand, whatever it is in your feature sheet. And then the last thing, I call it a promo sheet. If you as a seller are offering to pay down closing costs, to pay down their rate, to help them move their goods. You're open to any closing date, whatever it is, offer it, but have that on a piece of paper so they can distinctly see it. Lissette, what else you got?
Well, I would add two things, and this is, I think it's going to increase the amount of showings as well. First of all, is let's do professional photos. There's no reason not to have professional photos if you're using the right agent. For example, this morning I'm going through some photos with a buyer, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I could see the guy's arm in front of the mirror in the bathroom holding up his iPhone. Why? Why is that?
That's
Another
probably on a
one,
$700,000-$800,000 listing.
it's ridiculous. And another one, there's a little girl standing in front of the garage. I'm like, why would they even put that on the
Yeah.
MLS? So make sure you have quality photos. Make sure that you throw in there a virtual tour, do a drone video, do drone photography. All that is going to increase the likelihood that more people are going to view your property and going to want to tour it in person. And second of all, I would say be flexible with showings. You don't want people to jump through hoops to come and see your property. You want to make sure that you are making it accessible and available to your buyers, especially in this market where we have a larger growing inventory. If they're tight on time and coming in just for that weekend or maybe just a couple days, and they have to schedule your showing days in advance, or it's not available on X, Y, and Z day, they're going to go see the other properties and say, well, forget it. We're not even going to go to that one, and
Get
make
that
a
all the
decision
time.
on the properties they were able to see. So that's going to increase the amount of showings you get. Yeah.
I'm absolutely, as a seller, going to take a little bit of suck for a couple weeks, a little bit of inconvenience to get 5, 10, 15, 20 grand more. That's a phenomenal point. All right. We've got the best fan. We've got Brian Moriarty. Great content today, guys. I think he's talking about you, Lissette. Enjoyed the program. If you don't know Brian Moriarty, he is the best chiropractor down in Martin County, man. Phenomenal guy. So thanks for joining us. We had a lot of great
Awesome.
comments
Thank
today.
you.
All right. Well, Lissette, I appreciate you. Hopefully you guys found some value in this. If you've got anything else, guys, we got this topic from somebody who wanted to see this. If you've got a topic you want us to touch on, we'll figure out a program. We'll answer all your questions and we'll make sure that you're getting the value you want to get. Lissette, I appreciate you joining me today.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good one.